Hey there, welcome to Living Local. I'm Lindsay Kovach, and today I'm sharing what it's like to work with us at Living Local if you're purchasing a home in the upstate. If you're considering a move to Greenville, take my quiz in the description below to see which communities might be a good fit for you. I'd love to be a resource for you about all things in the upstate as you research and relocate to the area. So I often get the question, when is the right time to reach out to start my home search? If you're asking that question, honestly, the answer is now. Even if you're not sure if Greenville is a place you want to call home, I work with clients to provide more information about the area and the housing market to help them decide if the upstate is the right fit for them. If it isn't, I'll be honest and tell you, I never take offense if I work with someone for a period of time and then they decide Greenville just isn't for them. The whole reason I have this channel is to share what I love about the upstate, to help others decide if this is the place for them, and then to help them connect locally so they love where they live. Buying a home is so much more than finding a property. It's about making sure the surrounding area supports the individuals or family to live their best life in connection with the community around them. In my opinion, a well-lived life is one that's connected and supported by others. So what are the steps to our process? The first step is the initial consult. This can start as a phone conversation, video meeting, or in person if you're local to Greenville. We begin your search with a conversation to help me gain a better understanding of why you're considering the Greenville area and what's important to you in lifestyle and a property. Some people already know the exact neighborhood they want to live in Greenville. Others are still in the process of narrowing their search. So no matter what stage you're in, I listen to your needs and help you figure it out. We talk a little bit about home features, but a bigger part of this initial conversation is talking about your life stage, your hobbies, and your interests. We also answer questions like what are your priorities for proximity to commercial spaces or airports, and what you like to do with your time, and who might be visiting you in your home. It's important for me to know what you want in your home, but through this conversation, I learn more about you and your personal needs, as well as how you make decisions. We talk about the Greenville housing market and what we see in terms of data for prices, days on market, and the age of homes in certain areas. We'll also talk about your monthly housing budget and discuss your decision-making style. Are you okay being in a multiple offer situation, or is that something you want to avoid at all costs? Can you see past some outdated interior features, or do you prefer something that has already been updated? All of these individual preferences and needs help us to structure and guide your home search to best suit you as the buyer. Another activity in our initial consultation, which I love, is called the 80-20 exercise. So we just start with a brain dump of writing down or talking through everything you want and need in your home search. After we have this list completed, we'll review it, and I typically tell my clients that we can likely get 80% of this list. I know initially that can be a bit disappointing to hear. You're spending a lot of money and you want everything in your new home. So the home with everything you want is what we call a unicorn. It's something that's highly desirable but difficult to obtain. So it's more important to know what can and can't be changed in a home. What's in your must-have categories? Maybe that's a particular school district or yard size for dogs, or a designated home office space. So as you begin your search, you'll realize that about 20% of these variables are things like a fence that can be built, walls and cabinets that can be painted, or that the exterior color of your home might not be as important to you as the square footage inside. It's often eye-opening for clients when they realize you can shift your parameters slightly and drastically increase the inventory of homes available to you. So now that we've discussed your wants and needs list and that I've learned a little more about you as an individual, the next step is setting up your home search profile to begin looking at properties online. I'll take a second here to put on my listing agent hat and remind you that this is why it's so incredibly important to hire an agent that uses professional photography and videos to showcase your home. Photos online are your first impression, and if you're missing quality photos or information about layout, potential home buyers are ruling your home out before they even step in the door. Okay, so let's shift back to supporting you in your home purchase. The second step of our process includes setting your purchase price budget after getting a pre-approval or consulting with your financial planner, and then setting your timeline. If you're from out of state, you'll begin or continue looking online at properties and providing feedback to help us further refine or tighten your search. I use a system that allows you to rate and comment on properties that fit your search criteria, so I can start to get more details about what properties you would consider and why. We also have a continued discussion about purchase price, if we didn't already in your initial consultation. Part of my job is to help set realistic expectations about what you can expect within your budget. It doesn't matter if your housing budget is $250,000 or $2.5 million, I will be honest with you about what you can and can't expect at that purchase price. So our next steps really just depend on your timeline. We begin doing home tours either in person or virtually when you're at that ready to purchase stage. Housing inventory changes daily, so we don't begin our in-person or virtual showings inside of properties until you're absolutely ready to write a contract. Sometimes people are surprised about the number of homes that we see in our search, but we don't go see every new home that hits the market in person immediately. My average client sees less than 10 properties in person before writing an offer. This is because we've worked in advance to really refine the profile of what you want and need, and we don't go see properties that don't fit that profile. Recently, I worked with a client. We first connected about 4 months ago. We had our initial consultation for their relocation, and after that, we spoke by phone or video about once a month as they were getting their property ready to sell in another state. As soon as their home went under contract, they came to Greenville to see properties. We looked at properties for one day, they saw 2 homes, and we wrote an offer. They're now under contract on the perfect house for them. These clients spent months looking at properties online before they were ready to actively start their search, and they knew exactly what they needed and what their firm budget was before we stepped inside a home in Greenville together. So our next step in the process is to find your home. So once we do, we write an offer and get you under contract. When we find that property that feels like it fits your needs, we have a detailed look at all the data about the property so we know everything we possibly can about the home before submitting an offer. Age of roof, age of heating and air conditioning systems, updates, issues previous owners have had about the property, etc. All of this information factors into the value and offer. We compare the home to similar properties for sale or recently sold properties in the neighborhood and factor all of these variables into your offer. If you love this property and absolutely want to have it no matter what, we talk specifically about how to write a strong offer. We discuss everything in the offer and contractually what you're bound to if the seller accepts. In South Carolina, some of the things that we write on the contract are purchase price, earnest money deposit, due diligence, which is your window for inspections, termination fee, which attorney you'd like to use for the purchase, appliances included with the sale, seller paid closing costs, expiration of the offer or how long the seller has to consider the offer, and the closing date. We review each of these and what they mean as we draft your offer together. I'll also talk directly to the listing agent to determine exactly what the sellers are looking for and their motivations for selling. From there, we either wrote your offer and it was accepted right away, or we negotiated a counteroffer. Now we're under contract. Congratulations. Our next steps are ordering inspections during your due diligence window and gathering any and all information about the property to make sure you're comfortable moving forward with the purchase. I have inspection companies that I trust and can recommend and help you to interpret the inspection report results. If there are areas of concern, we get additional vendors like roofing companies or contractors to come out and further inspect or give us an estimate of repair and replacement costs. The due diligence window is when we can negotiate any repairs made by the seller. As part of the under contract process, we have amazing support from my colleague Jessie, who makes sure we are dotting our I's and crossing our T's in order to stay on top of our contract deadlines. If you're purchasing with a loan, she helps to make sure you're getting your lender all important documents, and same for the attorney. Side note, we also remind you to not make any major changes in your financial status when you're under contract that could affect your loan. We know you're excited, but don't go buy a car or that new furniture just yet. If you need to move locally or across the country, we have movers who offer our clients discounts. And as we approach closing, we support and remind you to turn on utilities, get your homeowner's insurance lined up, and transfer out of utilities if you're selling a property. We help you every step of the way from under contract to the closing table. So as the contract proceeds, we'll schedule a final walkthrough to make sure all repairs have been made and the condition of the home is the same as when we last saw it. We receive the closing disclosure from the attorney and review it together. The final step in the process is to close on your home, move in, and celebrate. This is our team's favorite step, of course. This is always an exciting and stressful time, and we love to celebrate alongside with you. We also help with a few important reminders post-close to make sure you have your SC residency and tax information appropriately reported. After closing on your home, we see you a little less often, but that's not goodbye. At Living Local, we provide lifelong client care and support. We continue to support you after your purchase with vendor recommendations if you need an appliance repaired or home maintenance or someone to come and update your space. We also have client events throughout the year to connect one another with the community around us, enjoy new activities and spaces in Greenville, and give back to the community. And of course, we love when clients help their family and friends fall in love with the upstate area, and they refer them to us so we can help them find their upstate home. So I hope this was helpful to get a look inside what our process is helping our clients to find their next home in Greenville. If you're ready to get started on your home search, use the contact information below to reach out and schedule a consult call.